Hiya guys and welcome to RT Gaming. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Hiya folks, many thanks for tuning in. Revned again back for another video, and in this video I will be covering, or I will be sharing, my full support Soul Dancer build. Alright, as ever, I do hope you're all well and keeping safe, and guys, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and like this video if you find it useful. Alright, so let's just dive straight in. Okay, a lot of you have been asking me to share my core, my ally, and you know, things like that. So in this video we're gonna cover a wide range of builds, okay, from random stats to pet chips to allies to cores to talents. We're gonna look at my different sets of talent when I am supporting in different situations. We're also gonna look at my deep talents and what I use when it comes to battlefield or 1 versus 1 and things like that. Can I just say though, this build, I found it very effective in as an all-rounder. It doesn't matter what you're doing, this build is so effective. Okay, you might not have the decent damage, or you might not have a massive damage, but you have a decent damage. Okay, so it's not too high, but it's not too low. So let's say a mediocre damage, but that's not bad at all. Okay, in terms of survivability, however, survivability is that the term? Yeah. You know, if you want to survive longer, this is definitely the build for you. If you want to heal higher, this is the build for you. Okay, so don't be surprised if you do not see any MS or AP and things like that within this build, because this is not what I've designed this build for. Okay, it reflects my game style. Okay, so let's just jump straight in. Random stats, guys. Random stats, I made a video of this months back in terms of what I'm aiming for as random stats. 6 random stats. Okay, I'm still sticking with the same random stats. I haven't changed them at all. So the random stats that I'm aiming for are, of course, CDR, magic attack, and HP as my sub stats. As per main stats, I'm looking at ints, con, and int. Now, if you look at all those stats, if you look at all those random stats, they all link to one another. Okay, int boost magic attack, ints boost magic attack. Okay, ints boost CDR, hence why my CDR is there. Con boost my both defenses, physical and magical defenses, but at the same time it boosts my HP. So if you look at this, I don't have a scattered stats goal, if that makes sense. You know, I'm always aiming for boosting the same stats when it comes to my random stats. Now, these are the ideal stats that I want for all of my gears. At the moment, I haven't achieved that simply because of the new 100 gears. It's really difficult to get the 100 gears. So a lot of, I think that's the only, my ring is the only one that has my complete ideal stats, and the rest still not up to speed with those stats. But I've just picked them so I can unlock the prefix stats, which are these stats down here. Okay, so that's my random stats. Okay, if you want to know why I picked that, it's simply because of 2 things. The build that I'm going for is, like I said, to heal a lot more and to survive a lot more. But going for this build, I've noticed as well that it's not just for those 2 things. It's not just for tankiness, and it's not just for healing, but it's also, it has been increasing my magical attack. Now, if you look at my magical attack now, I'm over 100k magical attack, which is amazing. Absolutely incredible, isn't it? So I deal decent amount of damage. Not too high, not massive damage, but I deal decent damage. And it's not low either. Okay, it's a mediocre sort of damage. But at the same time, I survive a lot, and my healing output is so high when it comes to this. But then again, that depends on the way you distribute your heals, which we will cover later on in the video. So that's my random stat then. What we'll go for next is we will look at my pet chips. Pet chips, guys, when it comes to pet chips, if you're in the same sort of server as like the global server, you'll find that pet chips now has, let me just move that, pet chips now has, if you cultivate, it now allows you to, how much is that, 10, about 10 pet chips in total. Okay, 10 pet chips in total. So you basically can unlock all pet chips, all stat pet chips, I should say. Okay, if your server only has 8, I think it's 8, or is it 6? I can't remember. I think it's 6 actually. It's 6 and then it becomes 10 afterwards. So if your server only have 6 pet chips rather than 10, I would recommend for this build, what I did was CDR. Where is the CDR? Hang on, let me just see where, this is a CDR, isn't it? Oh no, this is CDR. Yeah, so I would recommend the CDR chip. I would recommend the attack chip. Where's the attack chip? There, the attack enhancement chip that increases your magical attack. And then I would also recommend your AP enhancement. Okay, and then your 3 defensive one would be your MDef, your PDef. I think this one here, MDef and PDef, and then your HP. So basically, if your server only allows you to put in 6 chips at the moment, because in the future you will be allowed to put 10. The stat chips that you want for this build that I'm making is CDR, HP, MDef, PDef, attack, and AP. Okay, why did I put AP in there and that's not even in my, you might question that, why do I have AP and it's not even in my random stat? If you look at ints, actually ints increases AP as well, and again, I'm a great believer at just prioritizing the stats that you're already increasing, if that makes sense. Okay, so when it comes to pet chips, that's all my pet chips really. It's very, very similar. Now I can unlock 10. So basically what I've done is I've put all the stat pet chips. For some of them you will have different pet chips. Like for this one you can unlock these gold pet chips now as well as an extra, which, you know, that's for those whales that can afford that. I can't, definitely can't. Bear in mind that all your pets does some sort of contribution in terms of stats transfer into your character. Okay, so if you look in here, the one that's equipped in my squad, it gives me a stats CVR or stat transfer of 34.20%. Okay, which the ones that are not equipped, it gives me at least 6%. So it's still important to make sure that we maximize them, or maximize their level, and to evolve them. Okay, that we evolve them to its maximum or to its highest form. Okay, so yeah, make sure you keep that in mind. All right, so that's random stats done. That's pet chips done. What we're gonna look at now is my core. I'm going to show you my core. Now my core is very different compared to the others. The others are working at 952 or 951. 952, I think it's 952, I believe. However, I'm working slightly different. I'm working at 8 water. I've got 8 water. I've got 6 fire, and then I have got 2 earth. So I'm working at 8, 6, and 2, just to find that balance between water and fire. And again, you know, it relates to my random stats, isn't it? Ints for blue gems, and int for red gems, and then con for earth gems. So that's what I've been working on at the moment. Now if you are in global server, you would also find that you have now a spirit gem that you can equip. Now the spirit gem increases an overall stat, so basically your main stats gets boosted. Okay, I'm talking about ints, I'm talking about dex, I'm talking about con, and I'm talking about int. Those 4 main stats, they get boosts from the spirit, the actual spirit gems. Okay, but that's if you already have that unlocked in your server. If you don't, well, you know what's coming. Okay, so that's my core. Again, it relates to my random stats. It's very much everything that I've got here relates to my random stats. And my random stats, again, just rewind this video, and yeah, you'll see it there. Okay, so allies then. Let's talk about allies. In terms of allies, you're looking at getting Anjou. I'll tell you why in a moment. And it's because of this passive skills. A lot of people are saying, you know, don't get Anjou, or CDR doesn't, you know, it doesn't play a major role in this game. Well, it does. It certainly does. I'll tell you now. Well, that's one of the stats that increases your heal. Okay, that's one of the stats that increases your heal. So yes, certainly CDR is a great stat for Soul Dancer. Okay, as a support, if you want to increase your healing, but also without Anjou, it will take how many? I think it will take about 80 to 90k CDR before you can spam Timelock without Vortex. Now I'm on 70k and I can spam Timelock without Vortex. I'll show you that later on. But yes, in terms of the actual allies, I would recommend, if you do have the diamonds, you know, you can either get Eri as your main partner if you don't have Anjou. But certainly I would recommend Anjou as your main battle partner. Okay, and so it's the choices that I have when it comes to battle partners is Mingzu. Certainly, Mingzu, Anjou, or Eri. But with that three in mind, I would always pick Anjou. Okay, for that CDR purpose. Okay, so yeah, that's ally. In terms of allies, it really is. It's how lucky you are with your rolls, and you know, depends on how you made every ally or most of your ally. Let's go to the center part of ally. When it comes to deployed allies, your stats transfer, okay, becomes 15%. Okay, so basically every deployed allies that you have will convert 15% of their stats into yours, and the rest that aren't are 12%, I believe. I think it is 12%. Oops, sorry about that. But yes, so in terms of the allies that's not equipped or in your as battle partner, they will be about 12% stats conversion. So it's still important to increase their level, because the more level they have, obviously the better stats they have, and then more transfer to you. Simple as that, isn't it? Okay. So yeah, that's the ally now then. So we've covered quite a few things in there already, haven't we? We've covered random stats, we've covered pet chips, we've covered cores, and we've covered ally. Okay, now I've shown you everything I've got except the talent. So we're now going to explore the talents. Okay. In terms of skill rotation, we will cover that later on. I've got one generic skill rotation, and the rest, it really depends on the situation. Okay, or whatever. So this is just my generic. This is my generic talent. This is what I usually use. Okay. Now I'm going to post on the right side of your screen the image of my different talent sets. Okay. So when it comes to, let's say, PvE, okay, a full support talent would be this. Okay. Now for Clash of Sword support talent, you would use this. Okay. And now for your damage dealing talents, like for Dragon Slayer or the new deity or DT, however you want to pronounce that, it's this. Alright, hope you had a good look at those. If you want, you can just rewind and look back at those talents again. Okay, so let's talk about PvP then. When it comes to PvP, there are several builds. I also have 3 builds when it comes to PvP, right? 1 versus 1 is this. Now for Battlefield, it is this. And for 5 versus 5, it is this. Alright, so those are my set talent skills. Oh, it's Yakuza time. Actually, never mind. I'll carry on with the guide. Don't worry. In terms of X skills, however, let's look at our X skills. Our X skills are very, very different. So when it comes to PvE, alright, my PvE usual setup will be the light beacon and my thunderclap. So that is for dungeons, let's say. That's for PvE dungeons and world bosses and things like that. When it comes to yeah, sorry, it's the same for Dragon Slayer and DT as well. Okay, so it's exactly the same for all my PvE. Okay, now for PvP, this is the only one that I use for PvP. Majority of the time, I use Dustbuster, whether that may be within a war, battlefield, or 1 versus 1. Even in 5 versus 5, that's the setup that I use. Now let me just show you my plan. Okay, currently I'm using Vortex because I want to unlock one of my X skills. But when it comes to PvE, there we go, and PvP, obviously it's a Dustbuster. Okay, so that's the kind of setup that I've got with my talent and X skills, extra skills. Now we're looking at the actual deep talent. Now, as you know, you reach 100, you gain extra skill points, you know, when you equip the new refinement stones. All right, so when it comes to PvE, here we go. Okay, PvE. No, sorry, this is for, yeah, actually this is generic, more generic for me actually in terms of PV support class. Okay, so this is for overall when it comes to supporting. Okay, whether that may be dungeon or PvP. So PvE and PvP, these are my talents. Okay, and I'm looking to have that as level 5. Okay, another healing effect. Okay, for the likes of PvE or damage PvE, for the likes of DT and Dragon Slayer, this is my setup. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of this if you like, but basically I take all the damage. Okay, I take that too, and then I take this, and then I take double impact as well. And actually I also take face assault. Okay, as for, and you don't really need hit, but if you do, then that's all up to you. But that is my damage PvE and PvP build. If I was to switch my talents into my DT or Dragon Slayer, those are the only ones that I change, and Clash of Swords actually. So this deep talent is for Clash of Swords, DT, and Dragon Slayer. Alright, so take a good look at that, and if you want, you can just rewind the video after that. So that is my full build, guys, in terms of what I actually do in my Soul Dancer. Okay, so let me just put back my full support build. Again, I'm looking to get those you know, I want to survive a lot more really than anything else, because if I survive more I can heal a lot more. I like the heals. Wait a minute, there's something. Oh, there we go. Forgot about you. It's important to have that demon claw, okay, in all aspects. So that, again, that's my support build. Now in terms of the actual combos, the skill rotation now, I would say. Let's go down. Make sure we pop that before we fully drop. Okay. So when it comes to my skill rotation, I've got one basic or generic skill rotation, and the rest just comes depending on the actual cooldown. Okay, so what we'll do is time expansion, mark of Azure, phase shock. Usually I do that and I do that, and then I do that, and then recall light, and then I usually do the first skill. Okay, that's if I'm fighting on a 1 versus 1. Okay, if I'm fighting in a crowd or a war, this is my usual do. Time expansion, phase shock, and then I would usually use shadow light, and then I would use recall light. As soon as I've done that, because look, it will double my healing effect, so someone that are in the back can be healed, someone in the front can be healed as well. But at the same time, what I do is I also put my soul into that area, and then use my what you call it, light beacon to heal a lot more. Okay, so that's the kind of basic rotation. So if you were to write it down, I will post it in the screen, my rotation icon. So it will be time expansion, it will be mark of Azure, phase shock, and then you can use shadow light, and then you can use time lock, then recall light to again increase your attack, because once you've done that, all your skills will be ready to use again. Okay, and obviously what I normally do after the recall light is actually do the duck, if I can duck them, and then go back, and then obviously use those skills again. Okay, so let's do it one more time. So just to make it clear, let's just make sure that every skill is ready to go. Okay, so let's do it. So my generic combo would be that, and the duck. Once it's duck, I will then spam my first skill, and then again phase shock, and then what I'll do here is I will then do that, and then go back into the skills that it's already ready to be used. Okay. So yeah, in terms of the actual skill combination, it again, like I said, it really depends. But the thing that you need to consider, you know, if you are on a solo or 1 versus 1, I would recommend to use Shadow Light and then Timelock. If you are in a dungeon or if you are in a battlefield, I would recommend your Shadow Light with Recall Light. Okay, those things are the only two that you need to keep an eye out, and then the rest you just play it as you go. You just need to know where the others are, and don't just spam the button, okay? Because you can position these. You can position where your Pay Shock is going to land. You can position where your Mark of Azure is going to land. Okay, those two skills are critical skills, or crucial skills, you know, depending on where you land them. Okay, because remember, Pay Shock controls your soul, and your soul can replicate the skills that you have in this part anyway. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much my skill combo. Again, just to bear in mind the two things that you need to keep in mind. If you are doing 1 versus 1, or if you want to maximize your damage output, you would use Shadow Light with Timelock. But if you are on a battlefield, you know, I would say to use your Shadow Light with a Recall Light. Alright, let me just quickly show you now the actual spam of the Timelock spam. Okay, in terms of the actual, you know, as you can see, I'm on 72k CDR at the moment, and let me just show you quickly without Vortex that I can spam my Timelock. So you use your Light Beacon, you use your, there we go, you use your Time Expansion, and you're away. As long as that Time Expansion is active, you can keep spamming. You know how long does that take? Look, person you've locked in there would be dead before that even goes in. And then that's usually my sort of combo. Alright, so for now, that's me, guys. That is me. I mean, it's quite a lengthy video. It's about what, half an hour sort of video, but I hope it's worth it in terms of the actual full Soul Dancer support build. That is my current build. Oh, and let me just tell you, I told you the benefits of this build, but I didn't tell you the downside. The only downside of this build really is, first, you cannot keep on ranked when it comes to your Dragon Slayer, but you can't also keep on your Training Arena rank. Okay, Training Arena rank, you know, you have a high winning rate, but you don't generate much point, because in Training Arena you have to kill and you have to win as many matches as possible, as quick as possible, which is this build. You know, it will let you win the match, but it takes longer. It takes longer, hence why the actual rating system there is quite broken, isn't it? I think it should relate onto the winning rate rather than the actual points. Alright, so thanks very much, guys, for tuning in. That is me for now, Revned signing out. Thank you again for all the support, and if you find this video useful, please hit that like button, and I shall see you again some other time. Ta-da! Ta-da! Ta-da!